So I'm Paul Quickenden. I'm a strategy manager. You can follow me on Twitter if you want as well. So I wrote this presentation actually about a month ago, and then had a bit of a chat to Ben, and he said, look, I'm really looking for you guys to kind of demonstrate thought leadership and be provocative. So I took it on board and I completely rewrote my presentation and took it from there. So in terms of this big debate that's going on around open source and proprietary cloud computing, you've got a bunch of people saying that open source is the big opportunity in cloud computing. Got people, including me, predicting that some of the big software companies are going to be in dire straits, SAP, those kind of companies. Rackspace has come out with OpenStack, which is a big kind of open source initiative, and there's a lot of people like Simon Wardley, who's a big cloud computing thought leadership going on about it. And then you've got some vilification of a few companies, not just VMware, going on. So there's lots of noise. And on top of that, you've got cloud developers who kind of overlaying their own worldview. You're seeing companies like EMC and Microsoft and a few others who are building both platforms or as services for resale, but also going direct to clients, obviously creating a bit of tension. You've got the fact that we're kind of early in our market and some of these companies aren't surviving. They haven't got the financial model, or they're being acquired. You've got what can only be called FUD, lock-in terms. This is on a public website who I haven't named. And then you've got the people who are best described as zealots, going on and on and on about open source. And it's all good. It's a good part of the conversation. But the fact is that this kind of stuff going on doesn't really mean too much for clients. In fact, they don't really give a monkeys about it. And what we are seeing is that they are making decisions based on their worldviews that are driving their old kind of behaviors. The technology that they've already written business cases for, that they've already built their careers around, is the stuff that's starting to come to the fore. And for that reason, we are predicting that private cloud, if you want to even go there, is going to mature first because it's the stuff that's already there. Why is there such a big divide going on? Well, I personally work in the innovation area, and I think people are asking the wrong question. So let's look at it from an innovation adoption point of view. Cloud computing is arguably one of the biggest disruptions going on in the market. We've all seen Gartner's hype curve, some way, shape or form. And in case you can't see at the back, that's where cloud computing is at the moment. Fairly recent one. And when you look at this in terms of the complete life cycle, there's something like 85% of the market are yet to adopt cloud computing. That means there's a lot to do from our point of view in terms of software creators to get people over the line. And the things that they want us to do are mainly about trust and reliability, performance, availability, trust, security. So that leads to the question, how do you do that? Well, historically, you do that with proprietary stuff. It worked in the car industry. Henry Ford built a production line, and it was all proprietary, and it worked for just Fords. It didn't work for Holdens. You see it in the telecommunications industry. That's how we got rid of remember, if some of you are as old as me, how there used to be an echo on the line? We made it better by putting proprietary stuff into the networks. And you will see it in cloud computing, and it will continue until you get to this good enough line where performance is good enough. And then, after that, you overshoot. And then what happens? Competition changes. And when competition changes, it becomes not about reliability, who makes the most reliable stuff. It becomes about the stuff who can make stuff faster, more customizable, and more flexible. And to do that, you go with open source. So, again, it's not really a question of if or what, it's about when. And we are already seeing this. So VMware has already started embracing open source technologies. They've done that on virtual desktop technology. Google has gone open source for its own servers. So every server it puts into its core, they're making out of commoditized components. Cisco's UCS platform, their big data center stuff is built on Linux. It's open source. And then funnily enough, we're seeing it kind of the same in platform as a service, which is all built on proprietary stuff, but it's delivering the same benefit, modular, drag and drop kind of architectures, but they're more flexible, they're faster, and they're giving the same sort of benefits. So, again, completely rewrote my presentation. The conclusions. So in general, most of the stuff I'm reading in the blogs, clients don't really care too much about, to be fair. They're soldiering on and they're picking and choosing stuff that really matters to them. The whole debate is a kind of a question of time, and if you're interested in open source, just watch for when reliability gets good enough, and then that's when the point when you need to really jump in and provide a whole bunch of customization or flexibility. PaaS and open source kind of do the same thing, so this market might be slightly different. Don't know, but at the moment it's shaping down that way. And if you are a developer and you're going to do it on a platform, I would pick a big one, and you're going to have to make a bet on that, and unfortunately they will compete against you in the top 20 clients. Happens in every industry. Eventually the big clients want to talk to the big providers. So